Hello again. Thanks for watching the new Eden Open 2. I'm CCP Rise of CCP Fozzie, and we have a match between 8CAS and Asine Hitama's team ready to go. We'll be starting in just 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what do they got over there.
Yeah, so 8CAS, like all of the matches so far, has brought Navy Ravens again. So we've got triple Navy Raven, triple Hawk, double Heron. It's actually similar to think what they brought in the first Navy Raven match, if I remember correctly. So it's going to be a kiting team. They're going to rely on not getting caught. And actually, this is a pretty good team for them to come up against from Asine Hitama's. It's double Astarte, Rook, Aneros, Malus, Algos, double Punisher. The Asine Hitama's team needs to get these Navy Ravens tackled and caught by the Astartes. But if 8CAS flies correctly, that's going to be very, very hard.
Do you think there's any chance the Herons would have remote ECCM?
It is definitely possible, actually.
I feel like if they do not, the Rook is going to crush them.
I
know that there's support for the Navy Ravens.
They've got 3 Navy Ravens. You can't jam them out all the time. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, like the Rook supported by the Aneros, it will be tough.
Don't damp the Herons. The Herons are just going to orbit the Navy Ravens at 500. And
well, it depends on what they're doing. They might be damp.
I feel like that's what they did in the last matches. But yeah, I guess you're right. They could be damp Herons.
That's probably what they're expecting. That would be why you would damp them, is you're expecting them to have damps themselves.
So,
and
some missiles flew from the Navy Ravens, at least to start.
They are using electronic warfare effects on the Navy Ravens.
Yeah, I feel like I noticed that last time. But that doesn't mean that they have remote ECCM. It could just
be remote sensor boosters for damps. Yeah, it could be both.
Could be both. Smart. Now the Rook is damped. I wonder if that'll actually make a difference. We still see jam icons there on the Navy Raven, all 3 of the Navy Ravens.
Yep. So we're going to be seeing how well these jams apply. Obviously not all that well, because that Aneros has already taken a ton of damage. I think this is the perfect setup for a Navy Raven. That Aneros is ASB tanked, but that just means that he's going to drop fast once. Like, look at how much damage they're doing against the ASB tank once that thing goes on to reload.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy.
They are going to be in a lot of trouble.
They don't even have tackle on him. Like, the Hawks aren't even anywhere near him at this point.
No, but cruise missiles on a Navy Raven, they've got the precision bonus.
No, I'm just saying, like, it could be even worse. Like, they're doing so much damage for just having the Navy Ravens being the ones doing it.
Oh, it looks like he does have armor bots on him, so that is going to, but he was definitely shield repping there, so he's got...
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder why.
So
I guess just because there's armor bots to support the Astartes. Like, that makes sense. Okay.
So you just have them, so you might as well. But we'll have to see how strong his armor tank is, whether he fit armor tank mods on the Aneros itself.
And now Damp's starting to take their toll on that Rook. There's actually 2 Navy Ravens that have no jam effects on them whatsoever, so they're able to fire freely.
Yep, so that Aneros is now tanking well. I am seeing hardener effects on him, so he does have armor hardeners.
Weird, just like an extra ASB on top, maybe.
Do you know what they're doing now? They're shooting the rep drones.
Oh, okay.
So we are seeing now that the Hawks are in there shooting the rep drones. That's why they're not actually tackling the Aneros yet. The Aneros is still under fire from the Navy Raven just because they know that they're not going to hit the light rep drones very well, and the medium rep drones. But the Hawks are in there killing the rep drones, and that means that it's a high priority for Asine Hitama to do what they're doing right now. Kill the Hawks.
Yep, and first one goes down pretty fast. No logistics, of course, on the 8CAS side. And the Astartes, along with the Punishers, should be just fine at killing those Hawks. Are the Astartes actually near?
The Astartes are pretty close. They definitely were on that one Hawk. Yep.
Okay. I would think they would be trying to head over for the Navy Ravens.
At this point, they're just trying to go for the long game, I think.
Yeah.
This is definitely a race against time to try if they can kill all these Hawks before they lose the drones, because that Aneros is in no danger at all. You see now he's repped back up with his ASB. His shields are already back to full.
Now you're looking at a Navy Raven that is not firing its missiles, which is always a bad sign.
So this is the game plan right now for Asine Hitama's team is working out really well. They've got a lot of rep drones to keep that Aneros alive. They're reducing enemy DPS with the Rook. It's a good combo. The strong defensiveness with the Rook. What they need to do now, though, is get some tackle on the Navy Ravens, because eventually the Rook's going to miss a bunch of jams, and then they're going to need to have some of this DPS off the field.
Another switch in priority here. You see the Asine Hitama support actually tackling Hawks. They got both Hawks webbed. In return, the Algos and Punisher that did it both got webbed and tackled by those Hawks as well. Looks like the Hawks are just trying to make a break for it still, though. They don't want to turn and brawl with that support.
We've already got reps on the Algos and the Punisher. In a battle between an Algos and a couple Punishers with Aneros support versus unsupported Hawks, I'm definitely going to side with the Algos.
Although, that said, the Algos went pretty low. Hawks still tanking.
Not for too long, though, because it's going to be local tanked only. Yeah, we're seeing him already dropping down.
Yeah, once that ASB runs out.
I mean, 8CAS, I would have been very happy if I'm seeing the beginning of this match with 8CAS, but Asine Hitama's game plan has just so far worked out perfectly. This match is going the way they wanted it to go.
Yeah. Like you said, so much defense. Second Hawk down now, third Hawk about to follow. That's really, really bad news, of course, for 8CAS. But so much defense stacked on the Asine Hitama side. It looked really bad for them right away, especially when the Aneros was boosting in shields. But just not enough damage to break through all those rep drones and all that jamming. And at this point,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough. They need to kill one of those key ships, either the Rook or the Oneros, and doing either one is going to be much harder without their support.
One of the Astartes just caught a Heron. That web is from an Astarte.
Now shooting the Rook a bit. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for the Rook at the start of the match.
Just test its tank, see how well it's buffered up. I mean, 3 Navy Ravens, if they can all get hits on it, they can maybe burn through its tank really quickly. One Heron down, that's going to make potentially the Navy Ravens more vulnerable to that ECM.
Yeah, well, or at least to the damps. I mean, one or the other. For one reason or another, Rook not getting reps. Okay, there come the reps for the Rook. And you saw even without reps, the damage he was taking was really minimal. And now that the Oneros has caught up to him, I imagine his armor will bounce right back up.
So here's the question. If you were 8 CAS, would you actually have been better off not sending the Hawks in? Your Hawks and your Herons are faster than everything other than maybe the Punisher and the Maulus on the Asine Thomas team.
Yeah, that's
Your Navy Ravens are faster, are probably as fast as the Astartes, or close. Do you actually just go for the really slow game and shoot the rep drones with the cruise missiles only?
Might have been a good option. Leave the support closer to the Navy Ravens to protect them against tacklers or whatever. Also, I don't know that I would have minded the idea of the Hawks trying to get a chance to go for some of that support on the other side. See if you can pick off the Maulus or maybe tackle a Punisher and then put the Navy Ravens on that and whittle them down a little bit.
But they sent them in like after the Oneros, right where it was being defended by the Astartes and the frigates.
Yeah, that does seem. I mean, It makes sense why they did that. They needed a way to get through the tank, and it makes sense to start from there. But
they picked one possible win condition, which was our Hawks kill the drones before they die. Then we just win because the Oneros dies.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
I don't think it's a terrible plan, but I kind of think that they were in a spot where there may not have been a good one. I mean, there may not have been an option for them that would have actually worked.
All right, so we now have a Navy Raven tackled. The first of the Navy Ravens is now tackled, and he's got Astartes catching up to him now. They're going to be, they're just on the edge of their range, so you're going to see the damage increase much, much faster very soon. And at this point, it's only a matter of time. This is going to be a win for Asine Thomas' team, our defending champions. They're only in the losers bracket because they came up against We Hurt in that amazing upset match. And they're going to be continuing through the losers bracket, continuing on their way to try to get redemption. We've seen in the last Alliance tournament, for instance, the winner of the tournament did come back up from the losers bracket, so it's very possible to do. It's just a long, hard road.
I like this Rook so much in this match. I think it really was very powerful here, and if 8 CAS would have had access to all their damage for the whole match, it might have been a lot different. And they were probably prepared at least for the damps with those Herons. I don't know if they would have been for the ECM, but just a really strong choice. I don't know if the Rook is as strong of a choice in the tournament generally, but I think against the team like 8 CAS that's brought the same setup twice that looks fairly vulnerable to it, it's a really solid decision.
Actually, now that I really think about it, Asine Thomas, if they've been watching these previous matches, you have to, and you're not banning Navy Ravens, you have to be expecting Navy Ravens.
Yeah.
So Rook with all ECM, or a lot of ECM, or a lot of Kaldar ECM.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that is, like, when you can, like, the one place where a Rook is going to be a lot more valuable than a couple Celestises or Damps in the tournament is if you have a reasonable expectation that you know what the other team's going to bring race-wise.
Right.
And they didn't ban out the Navy Ravens, so they obviously had a plan for it. Maybe the Rook was a key part of that plan.
I think that's very possible. I think it'd be completely silly for them to at least not have favored Kaldar ECM on the Rook. It may not be that they're all Kaldar ECM, but I think that it's at least going to get a strong representation. And I would have. I mean, this match could have been a lot different without just that one ship. I don't know, but clearly this is in cleanup stage. There may not actually be enough time left for them to kill both of the remaining Navy Ravens, but they were able to kill one, and 8 CAS not able to kill a single ship on the other side. So.
Especially because they need to chase these Navy Ravens down.
Right. Yeah, we mentioned last week, and you may have even mentioned earlier, but one of the nice things about the Navy Ravens is they're quite a bit faster than they used to be, so they actually work pretty well as kiting ships in this format. They at least guarantee that a team like this will have to spend a lot of time chasing them around before they get tackled.
Yeah. And they're at the other end of the arena.
Yeah.
And they're also spread out. So I think there's almost no chance they're both going to go down. They're probably actually both going to survive for the last minute, but that's going to be a very little consolation for 8 CAS. I know these guys take the tournament very seriously. They work really hard at it, and they are a team that were like this, like quite competitive in the last New Eden Open as well. But this time knocked down by a bit of I'm not sure bad luck is the right phrase, but some very unusual circumstances with a Navy Raven that burned out that they would have won the match for sure without that, or there's a lot of other things that could have swung. Like, their matches have all been really close.
They really have. I was thinking about that. Like, if that match had gone well, like if that just one of those little mistakes, they wouldn't be having to fight this team. They wouldn't be in the lose bracket. Could have been a really different story for them. So if you weren't feeling guilty enough already, burn out your top bracket guy. Just stack some more on top there.
So we just actually had one of the Navy Ravens fly out of the arena. He decided to
that's a good sport.
Knock himself out, and he's down, and now we only have 11 seconds left. So this is going to be a Asine Hitama's team moving through. This actually means they're going to be going up against Raging Homo Sapiens next tomorrow.
Tough match for Raging Homo Sapiens, probably.
Yeah, that's going to be. But Raging Homo Sapiens were very impressive in the last one, so they might have what it takes to upset Asine Hitama's.
Absolutely. But that's the match over, so we're going to go take a break and then come right back. And when we get back, you're lucky enough to have Michael Bolton joining you.